Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get straight to it. How? I'm going to show you King E2, Queen E7, King D3, Queen D7, C4, Pawn D7, Queen G3, King H6, King C5, and then Queen B8 equals Queen, Queen takes B8. Most agents just would resign in that losing endgame, or even worse positions I was in. In fact, I turned a position I was into a dead loss, -3-0 with right technique and conversion, to a dead even draw. I never succeeded to study type of endgame, this specific type of endgame in my life, but I was playing at 2400 skill level, practicing that autopilot mode to go for clutches and to go for worse positions, and to force myself not to calculate and brute force calculate and use all my thinking systems, and practically, how do I say this? Just literally practicing that baseline autopilot mode. And here's how I used my opponent's money idea to save the game. So as you saw, I was down a queen, and I completely drew the game like this. But let's get straight to it. Let's go to the opening, and we'll continue to read through the script. E4, C5, Sicilian defense. Bishop C4, E6, the French defense. Knight f3, pawn D5, takes. Bishop takes decided to check. I challenge the bishop, trade off the bishop pair to defend the C5 pawn. Castles, Queen C7, Rook E1, Knight blocks, Pawn to D3, opening up the bishop, and Queen side castling. You see, but pay attention to how fast and the times and moves I'm doing. I'm literally doing a 1 second, 0 seconds, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 1 second, every single line. So I'm not thinking, and I'm just doing. I'm just going straight autopilot mode. Just straight attack. Just straight baseline, first idea, go with the initiative, and if I lose, I lose. So Bishop G5 completely destroys the advantage. I have a rook E1 to line up the rooks. Bishop takes, and now my opponent gives away the bishop pair, which I have a partial bishop pair. He has main bishop pair. I can make a discover attack on this rook, even though we can trade off rooks on the E file, and I can gain access to the E file as a dominator. Another part of this position, the C and the D and C pawns are together, both defended, except the C pawn for except the D pawn for now. Knight develops, bishop D6, rook takes. I have dominance of the E file. Queen slides over to F1, which I don't understand. That's just some sort of inaccuracy. This is not doing it. F6, guarding the E5 square. G frickin' G3, Queen B6, Queen B3, Knight E5, Rook challenge, Rook moves up to attack the knight. Knight takes, Rook takes. Knight steps over. Queen goes to attack the pawn. Queen defends these two pawns. King steps up. Knight takes, pawn takes. So 3 pawns in the center. Black has an amazing center. I have a queen, forcing this queen to put more passive defense, even though my queen is relatively not the best idea. It has some good long-term rerouting ideas to go like here and stuff like that, but it's going to take time, and we're in just a completely technical endgame. Okay, so as you saw, right, this is where it starts to the lab experiment. I'm going to show you the defensives of Herman under extreme pressure and making that extreme pressure on purpose for myself. So let's continue. Pushes the pawn, h6, just covering dark squares because we're on opposite colors. So I'm trying to put all my pawns in the same color as I would say as opposite of the pawns as possible on the king side, so the pawns cannot advance as easily. And the queen side, I'm trying to keep all the pawns on the opposite on light squares, so my queen can fully move through them. A5, G4, D2, C4, and I go for the wrong pawn break here. What I should have done here was ignore the threat and just simply continue to put pressure on the pawns like this. Continue to attack, force this queen to be passive, but I had the wrong idea. And I made a mistake. So D takes, and I could have fell for it. I believe it was tactic here, Queen E4 check. Yeah, I believe it was like Queen E4 check right here. Because it's just a check, and then she begins to check and eventually win the pawns. Yeah. Now it's completely lost. Because it would have been something like here. Yeah, queen g6. Yeah, I'm gonna say, not been good. Yep. I would have just completely thrown the game away, technically. But this is not the focus point. Queen d3 check, queen takes, pawn takes, king push, pawn push, and I'm running the king away as fast as I can to gain extra tempo in this pawn race. So triangulation, we go for the pawn race, king takes the pawn, takes, step to the side, run, and I get checked. But I'm able to get to the second rank in time, and I'm able to force a trade off a pair of queens. Pawn push, pawn push, pawn push, pawn push, takes, push, takes, and my opponent made the brutal. Wait, no, go back. Oh, okay. Brutal mistake. Right, check, scoop, bank, move up, takes, push, push. My opponent makes the terrible mistake of taking this pawn. Look at the geometry. So I'll show you for example now. Right, I go a4. It's going to be literally this pawn race. Watch this here, 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 and then literally a4 here, 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 and even though white gets to promote first, I get to promote with check, which gives me the winning advantage in this endgame. Like, so for example, let's say the king wants to go here to avoid this fork of the pawns, right? Now it's just a reason of if I can smother my way in front of this pawn and completely guard it, which I missed the idea of checking the king and always watching the pawn. That's what my goal was, and not allowing white to consolidate its forces. I would have won. But let's get back to the video. As you saw, I was down queen, the queen versus endgame versus pawn. The endgame side I was saying I was completely lost by a few mistakes I made. And I moved 60, as you saw, or you're going to see, my opponent's main idea here. I want you to sit down and ask yourself, if I was my opponent, what would be my main idea? If I do the right idea, I just simply don't execute the rest of the plan correctly. And now I ask myself here, what is Black's main idea? One, to run the king over, to triangulation, and to help this pawn promote. Number two, to force a queen trade, and to eventually force this pawn to get promoted. I'm going to try to the best of my ability. Black's idea. So here's the turning point. So I realized if he gets the king to the pawn or he forces trades to queen, I didn't have time to calculate a perfect check. I didn't want to have time. So I used process of elimination. I said, let me neutralize the king and bring my king to create a fortress. Instead of running away, I did the insane human thing and run my king towards the danger. I mirrored his winning strategy, bringing my king and queen into a tangible defensive wall, making it harder for him to promote, or near impossible without forcing a trade. He played BA equals queen. He thought he was promoting, thought he was winning, but he didn't realize that by promoting, he gave me the trade I needed to simplify into a draw king versus king endgame. Force a trade, queen takes BA, and walk right into the draw. So, what's the takeaway for you? Who's about to watch this video? You don't need to memorize 1,000 endgame tables. You need to identify the vector of your opponent's pressure, the goal, the root of your opponent's pressure. And when you're down, find the winning idea and be that mirror. If I have an active king, get your king active. If I have a pass bomb, build a wall. See, so I'm building an engine, a human-like engine myself that thinks differently. If you want to see how to hold the impossible, very simple, subscribe and like. Stop playing for a win, start playing for the true position. All right. So we're going to go over this type of endgame that I studied. And pawn b6, king e2, king e7 check, triangulation on the opposite color. Same color to get closer, pawn push, check, move up, king scoop, hook, and just a complete draw. Clutched it from an absolutely devastating position. And let's get it. I mean, so this is civic ending. Queen and pawn and versus queen and pawn is arguably the most difficult technical endgame in chess. Unlike rook endgames, there are clear rules, like the Lord Philodor and the safe position. Queen endgames are chaotic because queens cover so much ground. I faced a scenario that grandmasters also struggle, and I paired with a pragmatic instinct manner and memorized theory. Why is this especially extreme? Number one is a special check trap. In queen endgames, losing side often lose the person who's able to check consistently over and over and over again and make progress to their objective. That's the truth of the position. And the losing side often has to find only one way to find a perpetual check. I correctly identified that I couldn't calculate the perfect line under me forcing those simulation of time constraints, so I switched to a king run. The pawn tension. The pawns are on. The game shifts from tactical to structural. I have to not do I sacrifice the pawn to simplify? Do I keep it to create a stalemate trap? And the insufficient material we have by forcing tree into a king and king scenario. I then teaches to lead into complexity of position. I turn the border full of threats to a border nothing. So what's the endgame specialist checklist in battle? Rule 1. You can get machine-like defensive framework, but the queen is a shield, not a sword. In defensive queen endgames, use the queen to watch the pawn, to restrict the king, not hunt for checks. Rule 2. The king is the anchor. If you bring your king up, you will eventually lose. Your king needs to be active enough to support the pawn, if you know, from white's point of view, to prevent the enemy king from infiltrating and building up that fortress. Rule 3. Simplify when the evaluation. If your signaling works, your number one rule in any type of position is to trade queens. Even if the king and pawn rule in the endgame looks unpleasant, it's almost easier to draw and calculate pawn races than the hold a queen endgame. So I never studied this, and that's actually a strength. Because I didn't have the book answer and the theoretical answer. I was forced to look at the world, refresh a truth of position, engine like eyes, and then fall in trap playing theoretical moves. I played board centric moves. So you have to ask yourself, mirror and neutralize. In these 3 steps, when you're in a terrible position, or 1.5 or 3 and worse, or minor piece down, whatever, find a way to stay in the game. Ask yourself, what's the killer idea from your opponent? What is the way your opponent convert and can use technique to win the game? What do they need to do? Do they need to simplify? Do they need to go to a winning king and pawn endgame? Do they need to go into up a minor piece endgame? Do they need to go into a bishop first knight? Whatever the main idea is, avoid it at all law costs and make it as hard and defensively as possible for them to get that winning converting technique idea. Ask yourself this. So your opponent had one more move. Like kind of say, if my opponent had 2 moves in a row, what would they do? Is a king active? Is a pass pawn? Is a piece pinning? And then ask it and say it out loud verbally in your head or out loud. His idea is active king is to kill. 2, mirror and block. Once you identify the key winning idea and converting idea in the truth position, choose your play space split, the mirror. You can't beat them, join them. If the winning idea is activity, like an acting, you must activate the equivalent piece. And you neutralize and make an imbalance to their advantage, creating an equal imbalance. Option B, the block and the fortress. If the winning idea is penetration, like a pass pawn or entering your camp, you build a wall. You put all your pieces around the guard. That's just a step for forcing the opponent to create a new winning idea, which they most likely don't have. And process of elimination. Look at your candidate moves, eliminate them based on these filters. One, eliminate passive hope. Any death that just moves pieces back to safety is a mistake. Passive defense equals slow death. Eliminate tactical blind shapes. And my opponent, what he was doing, leaving tactic chasing and just trying to check. If your move relies on your opponent making a blunder to work, eliminate it. Playing from the back and jaw, not a miracle. Select the paragalactic move. Choose a move that forces the opponent to change their plan. If my set idea move stops their main idea, they're forced to go back to the drawing board when they usually blunder. So step 1, step 2, and step 3, you can read these over. So to get faster at this, treat your game's like a drill. Stop the engine to find the one wave to win, to find the counter, and press play. This is the ultimate endgame paradox. Queens are incredibly complex to calculate, but extremely simple to evaluate if you know the anchors. So when I say it feels both complicated and simple, understand the engine native secret. High level plays by calculating 20 moves late. It's by recognizing one or two principles and one key ideas and dictating that outcome. No here are four principles in Queen and Pawn's endgames when you're in a terrible position. Use these as checklists. Use the check thresholds in Queen endgame to side with the advantage to keep giving chess to make progress. If you can eliminate the check to eliminate the pressure, you'd find a square where the enemy queen not checked you, found the fortress. All you'll understand in the game, the king is not a liability. Only piece to support the pawn, defend against the queen or pawn. If you're not being checked, your king must move towards the center with your own pawn. Pawn put straight in your loss. Your pawn is not a weapon, it is distracted. Use it to bait your opponent's king, as you did in this game, or queen into a position where you can force a trade. The moment the queens come off the board, it usually flattens to a draw. As an example, this game and the opposition, even with queens on the board, the opposition where the kings face each other, mean one square or distant opposition or diagonal distant opposition, and force the enemy king into opposition, restrict their ability to get in and block and interfere with your plan. So that's all, gentlemen. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want a little idea, quiz of how what my opponent could have done here to win the game from this, from let's go back here. Let's see. I guess we'll do. As you saw this one, but hey, before we get out, let's go here. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Take your time, rewatch the video again. There's no rush. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Share this with somebody new. Comment down in the video below. Ask questions. Hope you guys learned something new about defense and getting miraculous draws and very hard draws and defense and geometry and line